Okay, guys, my name is Patrick Bryant. Became volunteer for Nancy. She discovered me. I'm a costume designer, and so she discovered me and now I'm her haunt designer. I like to start outside because some of my favorite things are out here that we are very proud of. We're gonna start by, if you notice up on the hill, you can probably see it better over there. There's a array of poles that go around with a rope marker that makes a complete circle back to the woods itself. So this is a well. All the runoff from the bodies that are right up there behind the tree would flood down through the bodies, flush down through the well, giving water to the stream that runs underneath the property. So you were actually drinking body juices. So that's pretty fun. So no, we just know what we've been told by the city of Lancaster. Yeah. So the front section of the building was the original. So this would have been what would be like the yard, if like your like prison movies. This is kind of the yard area.
Can I check, is there actually electricity through the whole building?
There is electricity through the whole building. So it's all of it's original. The walls are 18 inches thick. Um, um, I do want to let you know, apparently there are bats down here. I just don't know if you know anything about it. This section, this little area right here, was the like the groundskeeper's area. There's a little sink in there. There's some built-ins and stuff where he kind of would have lived and stayed and kept all of his stuff. So there's some things in there if you guys want to pop in.
Pop in here, buddy.
This room over here is the boiler room. Don't go into the gate there. That's but take it.
Yeah.
No, it's not lead, it's asbestos. You don't want to lick that or anything.
I'll be sure not to lick the walls.
The walls are not covered in asbestos. They're covered in paint. But, I mean,
Wait,
Don't lick anything.
look
If I
at
don't
that. Look
lick
at that,
anything, that'd be a
gross.
good idea.
This looks yummy.
The scrapes.
well, there are some people that do that.
Oh, yeah, there's.
Mom,
Yeah.
look at the window. You see all the scrapes on there?
Somebody will.
Up there?
No.
Yeah.
The boiler room. God.
Ooh, love that. This is actually okay.
So this is the original wall. You can see that they're more than 18 inches thick.
Guess this whole stage though, so.
Technically, they were residents. They were referred to as inmates.
else came in here?
Your blood out in the trough, your body blood was spilling onto the floor, and you were stored in the freezer until the daffodils came up in the spring. So
You know what? If I die, I die with my family. Hey, Bat.
Can we get him to fly out?
Hey, buddy.
You can hear him.
Pretty tight.
Followed 23, followed the canal.
There's a bathtub.
Because that was the cheapest way to do all the electrical. Believe so. One of the interesting stories that we know is a lady had escaped from her residence down here on one of these floors, got into the living quarters of the matron, which would have been, again, on the 4th floor, walked across the rafters, caught herself on fire, whether as a means of bringing the building down or just as a means of ending her life. Which would have been the floor above this in the ceiling. We'll be able to go up there and see that. We only recently found out that we knew the story in the last several months with the fire inspection and everything. They're like, oh, well, this is all burnt here, but it's not really burnt on the ceiling. We don't really know what happened, which then it made sense. So the floor is destroyed on the 4th floor, with the roof remaining untouched. So when she caught herself on fire, the fire burnt from the ground down. Fires burn up. Kind of cool information. You can kind of see over here when you look through the two-way mirror. You can kind of see the destruction of it's all burnt. You can see all of it. It's one of the most devastation that the building has had. Is the collapsing of the burnt floor from the 4th floor down to the 3rd floor. So when you smelled the burning, that's not the first story. So this lady was one of the stories. We also encountered.
All right, guys, I am back at my house, and so I just wanted to do like a little recap and explain to you like what the title of this video really means and why I'm being haunted. So, sorry, I didn't feel like getting out all my equipment and stuff, so I'm just gonna hold the camera. Anyway, so basically, we were down on the 1st floor, and we went into this room. And our tour guide explained to us that the giant, like, fridges in there, like, with, like, super thick walls and all that, like, super insulated, were for dead bodies, during the winter when it was too cold to bury them in their graveyard because they couldn't like dig into the ground. And so anyway, he has us all go in. I'm like, okay, I don't really want to go in, but sure. And he talks to us, explains what's going on in there and all that. And then we leave, and I was like, it smells like burning in there. And he was like, and everyone else was like, and he was like, well, I actually have something to say about that later. And I was like, okay. And so we get up to the 3rd floor, and he tells us that there was a crazy lady who had escaped up to the roof, lit herself on fire, and then eventually fell through from the roof to the 3rd floor. And so basically, I smelled burning, even though there had only been like something burning on the 3rd floor ever. And this happened in like the 1800s. So nobody else smelled it. Nobody else told me anything had ever been burnt. So there was no way for me to know that on the 1st floor in a like super insulated, humongous fridge. Like there was no way. So that's how I'm being haunted. was insane that she didn't even know that. There's not a ghost haunting me. Doesn't matter that I'm the only one that smelled burnt in a fridge.
You can try to call for help. So what do you guys think that is?
It's red, bro. That's blood.
Legit floppy disk, man. Children, gather around. This is where we used to put things on. Instead of a USB flash drive, it was this.
That's an old computer
This
disk.
was awesome
But
because
it's
it had a
square.
1.2 megabytes. Yeah, you had this huge, large slot you'd put it in. This is what actually were called floppy disks. Then you had the hard disk drive that they still kind of called floppy disks, but they weren't really floppy. And they used to have bigger ones.
So our tour guide told us that these are the real buses from one of the seasons of American Horror Story. Don't know, I don't watch it, so I don't know what that means, but and they're covered, but that's that.